All right, everyone. The New York mayoral primaries for the Democratic Party have culminated in the result of Mamdani actually coming out ahead of Cuomo. And then 50 Cent weighed in and said, basically, I'll give you $250 million if you just go away. He said, this isn't the path that we need to follow. This is hysterical, by the way. As a non-Republican, as someone who would like to have multiple political parties to actually vote for, I am begging the Democratic Party, please stop making these stupid mistakes. You went with a socialist candidate, a literal socialist, self-proclaimed, so-called progressive. They're basically the same thing. At what point are you going to wise up and realize that the American people have effectively discarded your ideology? They are not interested in BIPOC. They are not interested in your nonsense with regards to the far left. They're not interested in critical race theory. They don't have any interest in any of these things. I wrote a book on critical race theory. I wrote a book on occult memetics. I think that I know what I'm talking about. Let's put it that way. The problem for the Democrats really is that the Justice Dems, they decided to pick off a bunch of districts. What they did is identified vulnerable, neoliberals and said, well, this district has gone further left, so we're going to pick them off, basically. And that is receding now a little bit, but at the same time, you've still got AOC, Elon Omar, you've got Bernie Sanders, etc., and they're still within the party. Now, Bernie Sanders, he could, croak at any time because he's already had one heart attack and he's approaching 90 years old. But at the same time, can I please have a Democratic Party that stands for reason? That's the only thing that I'm asking for. It's not really that much to ask for at all. I want a Democratic Party that actually stands for something. Right now, it appears to simply stand for IDPO. That's basically the only shtick that they have. With regards to this mayoral race, you've got goddamn 50 Cent coming out against Mamdani and saying, yeah, it's fuck off, basically. And Cuomo, of course, he was attempting a redemption arc, and he completely failed at that. This is because of the overwhelming number of leftists within New York City, and which I just left literally the other day. And I find this hilarious, actually, more than anything else. But I also find it a little bit sad because I wish that the Democratic Party would wise up and, you know, brush yourself off, realize that you lost. Okay, you've lost the id poll race. Give it away. Get rid of the id poll and go back to being an actual serious political party. Because right now, you're not a serious political party. Right now, the only serious political movement is the MAGA movement. And I'm not a natural-born Republican. Again, I am not a conservative. It's not my natural forte. I grew up in the era of George W. George W. Bush and warmongering and stupid shit like that. That was where I grew up. I was a Democrat initially, if not a partisan Democrat at the very least. I voted for Obama um, because I didn't want any more wars and shit like that. I listened to what he said. Close Gitmo, tax relief, uh, take care of this recession nonsense, and preferably don't start any new wars. Now, he failed on all four counts, of course, But I voted for him anyway because the Republican Party had pissed me off. Now I find myself throwing myself in with MAGA simply because the Democrats can't get their shit together. They just don't understand. They can't take the pulse of the public. That's the whole problem. The whole problem is that the Democrats are not understanding what people actually want. They're not understanding what people actually need. And so it's just become a shit show at this point. And again, link in the description, archived, of course. When you look at the mayoral race in New York City, yeah, it's definitely a shit show. That's about all. Peace out.